and welcome to the channel. Today we're making a character interest tier list for Under Night and Birth 2 System Celes. I always wanted to try Unity because it looked really cool, but it being stuck on delay meant I'd have a rough time trying to play with anyone else. So I'll be pretty happy with this game here once they iron out the network issues. And I think this is the first one of these I'm making where I truly understand nothing about the setting. So this should be interesting. Let's get started. Hide. Graham set a record for how much I liked playing the default character, and this guy immediately broke it. First off, aesthetic is great. The dark energy they have for his attacks looks awesome. His projectiles are all really cool too. There's a disc that he can make explode, which also pushes him back, so it's great for ending block strings. There's a quick energy geyser, and finally the aerial vortex thing. The medium version of that one bounces him forward, and I can already imagine the possibilities with that. The record move where he jumps in the air is also really fun. Lynn. We're already at her ninja character. Some unique things about her in that area: she's got a dodge roll out of her run, not invincible, but can cross up in low profiles projectiles. Her dive kick is a combo tool, and it can cross up. She's got a spot dodge with an attack follow-up. It seems like it'd be tough to figure out where to escape her pressure, at least early on. Waldstein. Dude looks cool, but holy crap is he slow. This is the most sluggish walk cycle I've ever seen, and his dash is practically non-existent. Doesn't really feel great. It's a good thing there's that universal jump move so he can close the distance when he needs to. Granted, his range is pretty nuts. He may have difficulties getting in, but keeping people at bay shouldn't be too difficult for him. His trial showed me some of his cooler stuff, so he's not going to place too low on the list. Also, he gets bonus points for having Regal's God Press. Carmine. Oh boy, the Avatar Bilal mains are not going to be happy about this one. I know just a month ago I said I wasn't a fan of characters that use health as a resource, but this guy's a different story. Instead of simply trading health for damage, he leaves puddles on the ground that reacts to certain specials. His projectile turns it into a projectile, a ground crawling one. His DP makes it into a sort of launcher, and his ground spike will spawn an extra one wherever he has a puddle. Also, he's just straight up Iori from KOF. The only thing keeping him from moving one tier up is me not being able to wrap my head around his setups yet. Fourier, a very flippy fencer. Didn't think she was particularly outstanding until I got to the moves involving the suit of armor. Specifically this one, the orb, the one designed to make you take a high-low mix. The move where she smacks the opponent to the ground is pretty handy too. Good for getting Oki anywhere on the screen. That's about all I've got to say about her. Gordo. Dude looks like a pirate and he fights with a scythe. One thing I learned from his trials is that you definitely have to get comfortable with doing OTGs for his combos. It felt awkward at first, but I kind of got the hang of it. I love all the aggressive side spinning, but I feel like I don't like him as much as I should. I just don't feel drawn to playing him. Merkava. Since I always saw him as the Dhalsim equivalent in this game, I didn't expect to like him that much. This bizarre creature rides an interesting line between weird and cool. Flight completely eliminates any issues I have with his floatiness, which wasn't too big of an issue anyway because the jump height in this game feels lower across the board than in other games. In fact, it makes his air combos feel more comfortable. The trials honestly sold me on this guy. He's not just a keep-away character like I initially thought. Batista. There's no way I can play her. I have enough trouble with charge characters as it is, and this one has up to down and forward to back charge moves. She's definitely the most unique one I've ever seen. She's also got these prisms that explode whenever her attacks hit them. Since literally none of her specials have motion inputs, I can't even play her a little bit, which I'm slightly disappointed about because it means I don't get to use the finger guns. Seth. At first I thought he was going to be another typical ninja character, then the first move I saw from him was a setup move. The arrow that fires from the orb has a ton of hits done for easy follow-ups. His backdash is pretty wild. It actually launches him into the air. It's interesting how the held version of his Shadow Dash only doesn't attack during combos. Never seen a move like that before. His stuff is pretty cool, and the combos are honestly the only thing keeping me from playing him. Yuzuriha. I was slightly disappointed with her at first. I didn't fully grasp how her stance mechanic worked. Unlike other stances, you don't have a bunch of different options from it. It's more of an extension tool. You press buttons to do extra slashes. With that in mind, she escapes the no interest here, which I'm happy for because I like her design and personality. Big fan of the easygoing but highly skilled type of characters. Hilda. I'm very proud of myself for guessing she was a former boss character. She just felt like one. I don't remember what made me suspect it, but I know what would have tipped me off now. She's got a tracking, side-swapping wall bounce. There's also her crouching heavy follow-up that's a low for some reason. I'm normally not one for zoning heavy characters, but I really like how eccentric she is. Chaos. He's a puppet character controlling this big dog thing, Ozzy, which I thought was a cute name until I realized how it was spelled. Ozzy actually disappears whenever Chaos takes damage. That's the first time I've seen a puppet character do that. I suppose the trade-off for that is he gets to chain his attacks together freely, no resources required. Chaos also has a really stupid screen carry with his little barrier. Very amusing, and gives me a weird sense of deja vu. Puppet characters aren't unfamiliar to me, so he's definitely on my radar. Nanase, a wind elemental I actually really like. Her air maneuvering is simple but effective. Her combos are really fun, and the timing seems pretty lenient for some of them. She can control screen position pretty well. Her jumping tornado attack gives her a way to cross up the opponent if she ends up on the wrong side. Her dash comes with built-in high-low mix. Her air projectile crawls along the ground. Surprisingly, you can't actually cancel it out with other projectiles. Even if you could, it wouldn't be any worse at Hobanaze approach. In short, she's fun and has good pressure and control. Byakuya. Seeing him in person, he's even creepier than I realized. Watching gameplay videos, I never noticed the completely dead eyes this guy has. Anyway, the trials call him a technically complex character. Like, I'm sure he has a high skill ceiling, but I feel like you can just wing it until you figure things out. Low floor, high ceiling. At least that's my impression of him. He's got some fun maneuvering stuff as a follow to his web setting. He seems like a rewarding character to learn. Bonan. She's like KOF's Whip, but more stylish. Her regular normals didn't have the crazy range I was expecting. Her command normals didn't disappoint though. One of them is a sweep that covers almost the whole screen. This girl has some moves you really gotta watch out for. The second hit of her standing heavy is low. Her EX Geyser, for whatever reason, counts as an overhead. I don't really have anything else to say about her. Mika. I didn't know how I looked at these three without batting an eye, but seeing this girl with oversized gauntlets made me question what the lore was about. There's not much to say about her. She's a dork with rockets stuck on her hands, and she has a drop kick. If a character makes a face like this while beating the crap out of someone, I automatically find them endearing. Ironically, the other character I know that does this is also from a French-bred game. Wagner. I gave up on trying to say the name right, it always came out weird. Wasn't expecting fire from her, and that's entirely on me for thinking she was like Sophitia. Her sword buff lets her extend her drill attack follow-up, and shield buff gives her guard point on her shield moves, which I really like. And in an instance of the move list not explaining things, the trials showed me that I can cancel medium shield rush into other specials. With that, she doesn't feel as basic. I'm kind of on the fence of where to put her. And Kidu, martial artist guy who just beats the crap out of people. Honestly, not much to say here. The only thing I feel is distinct about him is his OTG combos. Londrekia, a Rekka character. He's got lows, cross-ups, and screen carries. He also makes people cold with his projectiles, setting them up to be frozen. He's easy and fun to use, and his Rekka fills the spin kick void left by Kula's nerfs. At least for now, while I don't know how good they are on block. Tsurugi, the most normal looking guy on the roster. His big thing is the shield stance. It gives him a guard point that beats everything except lows. It looks like you should be able to cross him up when he does this, but you can't. He's got an easy little loop with his punch and the downward swing. It's fun to smack people with a big slab of metal. Need I say more? Kaguya. She's got a lot of good stuff. Full screen projectiles that she can fire twice, an air dash that she can follow up with a jump, some pretty good cross-up aerials, one of which has a follow-up that makes her switch sides, a sidestep that she can attack out of, the style that comes with dual-wielding guns in melee. She's fast and very tricky to deal with. Kuon. This series really likes having things float behind people's backs. So my question is, did Hyde take one of this guy's swords? He has 8 on his back, which is a weird number to have of something. Also, the attack effects looks the same as Hyde's. He can levitate, and some of his attacks teleport him around. Gameplay doesn't speak to me, but I think he looks cool and I want to learn more about him. Eltonum. If I'm not mistaken, this character was originally made for Melty Blood to help fill out the roster. She has the air grab you can combo into, and you can move her left or right after a neutral jump. The bullet mechanic makes me feel like I'm playing Final Fantasy X again. If you time the button right when you reload, you get powered up bullets. It seems more like a bonus than something you need to consistently rely on. A ricochet shot is cool, and annoying to deal with I would imagine. She's barely minus even if it's blocked at close range. Her combos are very different from every other character, since if she does her launch, she can do a jump cancel in the air. Might be biased from playing Melty, but I think she's pretty fun. Akatsuki, from Akatsuki Blitzkampf no doubt, he comes with a double jump. His launcher can't be jump cancelled but sends people up way higher. I'm assuming that's how launchers worked in his home game. I like how intense this guy is, and Kidu was a bit too chill for my liking. That guy puts less oomph into his super than Akatsuki does in his standing heavy attack. He feels good to play. A simple guy, but I like him. And that's our list. Since online isn't working well, last I checked, I think I'll take my time with single player and learn more about the series. Honestly, in this instance, I probably should have done that first, because knowing a character's story and personality, and just having some attachment to them in general, definitely influences these. If there's ever a Kamen Rider game, I'd have to come up with different tier names, because literally everyone would be in strong interest. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing to see more stuff like this in the future, and remember to leave a like while you're at it. Hope you have a great day. Cue the outro.